Can someone confirm? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Thank you. I think it's not looking good. Let me take into the Excel sheet or else. Yep. Okay. Okay. So, just to recap previous day classes, so we were learned all the required details, functional specification, what is the go live, post go live, pre go live. So all those discussions were done, and we understood the uh, implementation project, how to start and how to end, and all those knowledge we gain. And now today we are to learn what is the RICEF documents and what is the ticketing tools and types of ticketing to tickets we will get before getting to the configuration of the system. So the basic understanding required for the RICEF documents. So it's very important for the interview, and as well as what is RICEF documents, why do we need to uh, follow the RICEF documents, and what is the importance in implementation or support, whatever the project. Okay, let us understand that. So let us understand the process. I request everyone to join. That is the reason I'm giving 5 minutes time. I think I need to start the class at sharp on time because uh, the previous batch will gonna end tomorrow, so that I'll not be delayed in starting the classes. And maximum I'll give the buffer time to join for people 5 minutes. 5 minutes also it's a more, because whoever joins they need to wait in the call for others. It's not good to wait for someone who's following the timeline, right? So let's make a habit of joining maximum 1 or 2 minutes delay. So then you will be missing the starting conversation of the classes. So again, we need to look for a recording sessions to even catch up the first initial 3 minutes. Okay. So let's understand the RICE documents. So far in our, my audio also clear, right? For everyone, the audio video
Yes,
both
yes.
clear? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So far what we discussed from till the beginning to the previous class, we completely understand the certain knowledge and, like, projects, how we do take care of implementation, and what is configuration, customization, system landscape, or enhancements, kind of so much information we discussed. And today the most important thing is RICEF. See, this is the RICEF is the main important one in interviews. Again, I'm stressing and I'm explaining. You may get a question: what is RICEF? Why do we need? And what stand for W? What stand for S? In RICEF, what is I? What is C? What is E? What is F? Like this, they may ask you questions in the interview, because SAP is a huge subject. They can attack you on any of the corner, any of the question. They do have every single right to ask you any kind of question, either a very basic question or very high level question, or as per his wish, as per standard of SAP, or as per his existing project, what he is maybe going through the issues. Anything he may can ask. Everything falls under three categories. One is standard SAP. Another one is like a customizations, whatever, like, process knowledge. The other thing is what is working in his project issues. He may try to ask you. If you know, you can answer. If you don't know, you cannot able to answer. That is completely fine, because his project is own issue that won't be reflected anywhere in any other projects. That such kind of unique issues, even you cannot be able to answer, I cannot be able to answer. But the basic standard questions or basic standard process, basic knowledge, which will give us for SAP training or SAP throughout the platforms, those basic questions we should not be blank at the time of interview, whatever they throw you questions. This RICEF also, it's a very basic and very, very important thing for implementation project, where we follow the things to complete and done. Okay, so now let us understand one thing. So far we know that configuration we understand. So we know what is SAP means as per whatever the classes till yesterday. We understood in SAP we need to do the configuration, right? We need to do the configuration as per uh, Devi, why are you joining from two devices? May I know the reason? Devi? So I will allow only one device to join. If two devices, you need to tell us the reason and you need to join. Otherwise, I'll be removing from the classes any one of the name. I will not entertain joining from two different names, and I'm not sure who and all joining. So if I get a suspect of the joinee, then I'll be removed from the classes. Okay. Please take care next time. Might be last time you mentioned that you have a unmute issue. So that's why I'm considering both the devices you only joined. Okay. So next time onwards, please take care, Devi. Okay. I'm assuming that now also you have unmute issue and I'm continuing the classes. Okay. So what is RICEF? The RICEF means, see, in the screens, do not go and focus on the things, whatever you are able to view. Just follow me, whatever I'm explaining. If I'm explaining what is RICEF, you go and looking all this to reading, means your mind will divert and will not able to capture what I'm teaching here. Okay. Let's follow me and just focus on what I'm explaining in the screen. Be with me. Okay. Yeah. What is RICEF? Okay, let's go back. See, I am got deviated. Yeah. So for what we understand, so we are everyone aware that SAP means we are doing only configuration. The configuration as per the standard SAP, we will do the configuration for our client, right? This is one thing is clear for everyone. Like, SAP means we do the configuration. The second thing that what we understand, customization, right? Customization will do. So what is customization? So, my God, who's keep on joining? Is there any issues with your guys? And I request someone to accept that who are joining the class. Otherwise, I can't keep on come back and accept here. Okay. Anyone can take that initiative. If you look at that, anybody trying to join, by this time you're familiar with the name, please accept that. Okay. Yeah. Customization. Customization means, what is customization? What we understood, customization means as per the SAP standard SAP, whatever we are not able to fulfill our client, then we need to do the modification of the either transaction code, either process, or whatever the functionality. So those things we call it as a customization. As per the, see, when standard SAP unable to, or when standard SAP not able to fulfill the client requirement through standard process, then the customization, then the solution will be, or standard process, then the requirement or solution will be provided through customization for the existing process. This is what we'll do, right? So what is customization? Customization means when SAP standard SAP unable to fulfill the requirement. So when it comes to the customizations, there we followed for the RICEF objects. Here it comes. So standard configuration, the RICEF doesn't come, and it come for few areas, but most of the areas the RICEF is taken place of customization only. Okay, if my voice is low, if not clear, please raise your concern. Okay. So customization means when apart from the standard, SAP will take care in the customization. From here it starts of the RICEF objects importance. So at the time of implementation, we do bifurcate the activities based on the RICEF objects as well. The RICEF object means it's each and every letter stand for one activity. Apart from the standard configuration, will take care of all these objects. Let's learn that what is RICEF. Each and every letter stand for what activity, and each and every RICEF activity follows for what. Workflow stands for what, report stands for what, like that. Each and everything in detail we will learn today's class. Okay, so that you will understand what and all things will be taken care in an implementation through RICEF object. So for the considering in the timing, so if I want to maintain or type everything in the classes, it takes a lot of time. So let's walk through my notes. Okay, yeah, here. So what is RICEF? The RICEF is a core concept SAP implemented that categorize custom development objects used to meet business requirements that standard SAP can't fulfill. You need to understand that RICEF objects will be used for most of the custom developments, so which SAP cannot able to fulfill through the standard SAP or standard process. Then to fulfill the requirement for the our client, the custom development objects used to meet business requirement, that is a this RICEF objects we will use. So it's essential for managing scope, effort, quality, any project like S4HANA, ECC and support, any engagement. See, any of the things, it can comes in the rollout project, migration project, support project or engagement project. That RICEF objects will come in every RICEF project. RICEF objects will come in every. Devi, you raised a hand. You want to talk anything? Okay, let's keep for class end. Okay, if you have any non-related SAP. Okay, so this RICEF objects will come in every project, rollout, migration, support, engagement, everywhere will get the RICEF object. Okay, so then you may get a question, what is RICEF? Then you explain this simple line, and if they ask what letter stand for what, okay, what is RICEF, and W is what, R is what, I is what, C stand for what, everything, every single letter, it leads to the one of the activity in the SAP. Okay, so let us learn in detail one by one activity. So W stand for workflow, R stand for report, I stand for interface, C stand for conversions, E stand for enhancement, F stands for forms. So all together these activities, in shortcut we call it as a RICEF. For all together these activities, in shortcut mode we call it as a RICEF. If someone asks you to elaborate what is RICEF and RICEF stands for what, then you explain that RICEF is nothing but to take care of the custom objects which standard SAP cannot able to fulfill for the client requirement. Very simple and single line. RICEF is to take care of the custom development objects which standard SAP cannot be able to fulfill the requirements of our project or our client or our customer. And then you need to explain W stand for workflow, R stand for report, I stand for interface, C stand for conversion, E stand for enhancement, F stand for forms. Once you answer this, again if we come up and ask one more question, what is workflow? What is report? Please, you should understand the interviewer question. What is RICEF mean? You stop with this explanation. You do not explain entire thing what we are going to learn. Just explain one line and then you explain the elaboration of WRICEF, then stop. If we ask further question, can you explain what is workflow, what is report? Then you need to get into the deep dive explanation of the each and every individual thing. That's how we need to tackle the interview. Okay, this question will come. Some may ask, some may not ask. Okay, so if can you go for mute everyone? Only when unmute when you wanted to talk something. Okay, so otherwise it will disturb our class. Yeah, so now workflow report interface conversion enhancement forms. So let us understand what is workflow, what is report, what is interface, all these things. Workflow means automates approval and business process. So workflow means if any process which will need to do the automation, right? So most of the process, the automation will be there. Step by step need to take care. To make you simple understanding of the workflow in apart from SAP, if everybody aware of manufacturing plants, right? If suppose to manufacture any one car or bike, in single person will not do that all the activity. In one person will not fit entire bike, right? If you observe any videos in the manufacturing of any gadget or any car or any bike, so on the ramp it will be there, one person will fit tire, one person will fit headlamp, they'll move it on to the next person, he will fit for seat, then move it on, then one guy will fix it up wiring, then one guy will set up the chain, one guy will assemble the gearbox. Like that, one person will do one activity in the flow. So similarly in SAP, if any process is there, if anyone want to take care of the same activity, if somebody want to take care like multiple people apart from the one person, or if any activity has to go through certain process step by step, then in that scenarios we will build workflow. So to make you understand in simple aspect, I have taken in a simple example, vendor invoice approval. Suppose you are in an organization, the vendor invoice you cannot be able to post directly into the system, because assume that any one of you working in an end user, so you have an access, then if you post whatever the invoices you want without original invoices, you can, if you post dummy invoices also left and right for any of the vendor, it will go for F110 payments and we will make the payment also, right? So if suppose assume that you are working here, your friend is one of the supplier of your company, you know your friend vendor number and everything, so you go and process 10 invoices, duplicate invoices, you will post, then all the 10 invoices will get paid and you collect some bribe money from your friend. Such cases also will happen when the worker and your supplier of your project, if you know that. Such kind of loopholes also will be there, because in SAP, if you process an invoice, it go for a, if it comes for a due date, then they will execute F110, they'll make the payment. They'll run the automatic payment run and it will be paid. So to avoid such kind of things, they'll keep some approval process. So one person cannot be able to directly post an invoice into the SAP. Some projects will follow, some will not follow. Okay. So if that is the case, what will happen? If that is the case, let us take that workflow, right? We're discussing on the workflow. So if that is the case, when you want to post the invoice, you need to follow the approval process. You need to follow the approval process. So when you need to follow the approval process means one person will post the invoice. So one person one, user one, suppose user one, park the invoice. Park the invoice. You will not post. What you will do, park the invoice means he will enter all the required details in the invoice posting T code, invoice posting transaction code. We call it as a transaction codes in SAP. You will come to know in the next classes what is transaction code. He will enter all the required details in the invoice posting transaction code, like a vendor number, date, currency, or GL or amount XYZ. He will enter, and the next step, instead of posting, he will park it. Instead of posting, he'll park the invoice. Once he park the invoice, automatically it has to trigger for the next person to validate and approve. User 2, user user 2 user 2 work is what he will do. He will validate. Who's that? Can you please go for a mute? I request you to go for mute, everybody. Rajesh, go for mute. So second user will validate the invoice parked by user 1, whether this invoice is a valid invoice, or not. Validate the validate the invoice parked by user 1. So is this invoice is a genuine invoice? Do we have invoice copy? And does he entered all the details correctly? The posting date, currency, amount, everything is entered correctly. Then the user 2 will be posted. User 2 will from parked status to posting status. Just to post the invoice. This is what we'll do. So this thing, when the user is parked the invoice, every time does he able to inform this user to, I parked one invoice, can you post? Either daily, if these two users are handling 10 invoices, it can be communicate without workflow. I process this invoice, park this invoice, do it. Like this, similarly, there will be hundreds of invoices, thousands of invoices, or 10,000s of invoices will be there in real time for a big projects. Are they able to communicate all the invoices? Are they able to follow this without miss any of the invoice? They cannot. That is the reason the workflows will be there. That is the reason workflow option is there to set up the process continuation in SAP. So then what we will do, such kind of process, we will set up the workflows. These kind of process, workflow process and all, we will identify at the workshops. When they're discussing with the clients, we will track it separately in one Excel, and we need to complete this all the workflows one by one. If it is related to FI workflow, we will take care. If it is related to SD workflow, SD consultant will take care. If it is MM consultant will take care. So this workflow will be each and respective module process, whatever the process required, the workflow kind of a things, it will be taken care by the respective team. So now we understood what is workflow. So to understand in simple theoretical, SAP workflow is a business process automation tool that ensures tasks are routed to the right person at the right time with the right information. It reduces manual effort, improve compliance and enhancement visibility across the operations. So to reduce the manual effort, does he able to communicate all the invoices one by one to user 2 to approve? That's a manual effort. Did we reduced? The complaints and reports related. Are we able to miss even any one single invoice without approval? If you don't approve it, we won't get posted. If you don't get posted, it don't get paid. If you don't paid, then the vendor will be raising an issue for us. Escalate. My invoice is not paid. Entire process will impact. So then it improves the compliance and manual effort also across the operations, right? Then how does it works in an SAP? Just I'll show you a simple way how the workflow will be there. So here, when we go for a SAP screen, like similarly how we have a Gmail, Outlook and all there, right? In SAP screen also we have each and every user ID inbound and outbound, like in inbox and outbox. In this SAP Business Workplace, we call it this one as SAP Business Workplace. If you click on this, you can see inbox and outbox. So here, how does workflows work is, the setup and all will be taken care. That setup and all we cannot able to try. So here, when the user one submits the invoice, we will do the setup backend. who is this approval authorities, which user. Then we map that user in the backend workflow list. As soon as we park the invoice, this user too will get a notification in this inbox. The documentation workflow, you can see one workflow also is there. You can able to send for a new message to new user ID also. It's like a email kind of a thing. So in workflow, if you see, there are some example workflow be created by the server provided guy. So here, once we park the invoice, the workflow will be triggered. So you can see here credit memo request. When you check the credit memo request, I can able to see the data, what they requested credit memo, right? I'll go back. If I double click, I can see the credit memo request, what they were created. I'll validate this. I'll validate, is this the right important credit memo? Is it a right valid credit memo or not? I'll go through all the details, orders and all these details and workflow, and which is the invoice number, quotation, standard order, invoice. Is it a right one? Then I'll go on, I'll release credit memo or reject credit memo or rework on the credit memo. I can, if something is wrong, I'll tell them to either reject directly or I'll allocate rework for the, or I'll cancel and keep it in my inbox only. Rework means I'll send it back to him. Reject means completely reject. Release means I'm approving. Like that, we will design these workflows in real-time implementation. But working with the ABAPer, whatever the process, we'll do this. This is what workflows. If I click on release credit memo, the activity will be done. So like that, workflows will be work like this. And coming to the next one, reports, right? So when it comes to the reports in SAP or in any other ERPs, reports means everybody knows that. Like in a standard it's a basic understand of reports means whatever the details which we wanted to showcase in a presentation, which it wanted to submit, the reports means which will have the detailed information in the respective activity, right? So like that, in an SAP, two kinds of reports will be there. Please understand. One is standard reports, another one is custom reports. What is the standard report or what is the custom reports means? The standard report, for each and every activity, the SAP has given a standard transaction code to pull the information. That by default, the transaction codes will be there. If you want to see the vendor report or customer report or customer open item, cleared item, or all items, like if you want to see the GL specific bank statement to see, or like, if you want to see any payments history, so like that, or assets, whatever we created in SAP, I want to see asset reports. So like that, whatever the reports you would like to see it, we have a standard transaction code in an SAP. We can execute and we can see that. If suppose the standard reports is not able to fulfill your requirement, whatever the information is throwing by the SAP, but one more additional field information required for my client, which is not there. But here in like suppose while posting in vendor invoice, these people are posting some additional information, some kind of additional text kind of information that also they wanted in the report. That standard report is not providing that information. That time we will create a custom reports by working with ABAPers. We'll give the logic and we'll build a custom reports, and through that custom reports we'll fetch the data and we'll give it to the management. That's what the report stands for. Custom reports means to understand custom reports beyond standard SAP. GL aging, vendor balance, XYZ. So you will come to know that what is GL, what is vendor, and everything will come to know when we are getting to the practical. You can correlate that, but now understand the theoretically what is workflow. Okay. So here in one line, custom reports beyond standard SAP, which cannot able to fulfill from the standard T codes. Then we will build a custom report or custom transaction code to extract the report as per the requirement of client. It's an answer. And theoretically, if you want a standard theoretical means R stands for reports, which are one of the most common and critical custom developments in SAP projects for FICO, SD modules. Within these three modules, we'll be having a lot of reports and also in controlling module. Reports are custom program designed to extract, format, and present data from SAP tables based on user-defined selection criteria, while SAP provide many standard reports. So let us look one small example into the practically. So here, suppose this is FBL1N report, vendor line item report in our SAP. So I'll take an example of one transaction company code. So I'll execute. Assume that what and all we are coming here, assignment, document type, document date, amount, certain columns are coming, right? Only certain columns are coming. And SAP also have given here to change the layout, and we have certain informations. We can, whatever left side are there, only those are appearing. We'll learn this screen in detail in next sessions, okay? So whatever SAP is providing this information to prepare the report, apart from this available data, if they want to add some additional information into this report, vendor line item report, then what we need to do? So then we need to copy as same as this program. Then we'll create a separate report we will build with that adding up additional column also. And we cannot able to modify any of the standard. And please remember in your mind, if any interviewer asks, are we able to modify the standard tables, T codes, programs? Please say no without hesitation. Any standard program or any standard transaction codes, we will never modify. We will never modify. In very rare cases specific to company code, only some cases with extension approvals will do that. If suppose very rare cases, we will not do, but very rare cases will do. If suppose this is a transaction code, if any field they wanted here to add, that we will not do it for standard transaction code. We'll give alternative transaction code by copying this and we'll add one more field. So like that, the reports also, apart from the standard report, will add a custom field. If you want to add, that facility is not there in the standard report, then we will build the custom reports. That is called reports. Only two reports in SAP. Please remember, one is standard report, one is custom report. That report can be anything, either SD module, MM module, FI module, CO module, or even in a sub modules, GL, vendor, customer, whatever the reports. SAP is given a standard report. Apart from that, you are building any custom reports using for across your SAP information. That is a custom report. That is the custom reports will fall under the workflow. At the time of implementation, we will explain that this is how the standard report will look. Is it enough for you? Because in their existing ERPs, they might be having different reports. That reports, if it is not matching here, if the same reports, if they wanted to fetch the data from an SAP also, if it doesn't, SAP will give more options only. If it is anything specific field is not matching by standard, then we will build a custom report at the time of implementation itself for the specific activity. So clear, guys? Types of reports and what is the standard report and what is the custom report? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
So coming to interface. So coming to interface means, we'll learn more on this topic in next classes, but I'll give you a heads up here. The interface means SAP to third-party application. As I given in a demo session, and also I just explained few things in earlier sessions. So SAP is very flexible. That is the reason everyone coming into SAP application. What is the flexible of SAP? Why the SAP is very flexible means, so whenever the client chooses SAP, he cannot migrate everything into SAP. Suppose take it an example, as of today, in every company's recent trend is to follow the Workday application. You might know that there is a tool called Workday, which means that every company is adopting the Workday software, and where they can release the offer letter, they can pay slips and trainings, promotions, hikes, every information of employee is there tracking in Workday application. So like that, suppose some clients, they'll maintain master data in separate tools, separate applications. some kind of a process, they're very flexible with third-party tools. They don't want to get into the SAP for right now, for some days or some years. When they gain trust, they can come back into the SAP. Like that, or suppose certain processes cannot be fit into an SAP, they would like to proceed for third-party applications only, which will be more flexible than the SAP. Okay, only for that particular part. In that cases, what it happens, we will be setting up the interfaces between SAP to third-party applications. The connectivity, either we are receiving certain data from Workday to inside SAP, or from inside SAP to Workday. I'm just taking an example of one application. In going forward, we will learn so many things. So now, for example, I'm taking Workday to make you understand. So like that, the interface means you just need to understand what is interface means. Between two applications, we are setting up the connectivity to receive the data or to send the data. The interface means one side SAP, one side third-party application. Either you will receive data from third-party application to SAP, or in vice versa, you will send data from SAP to third-party application. Both the systems should be in a sync. Right? Suppose let us take a Concur portal. So might be everybody aware of Concur. Concur means it's an employee expense uh, software. So like whatever they give for if they want to claim for employees, they will raise in a Concur portal and they will approve, they will get paid. But those invoices and the payment records has to be posted in our SAP. Whenever they're submitting the claims for that particular invoice, has to be that particular expense entry has to be posted in our SAP. So through certain pattern, we will receive that to SAP, and the SAP will post an invoice. Then we'll make the payment here. Then the payment entry also will be send it back to the Concur. Okay, just a minute. I'm getting a call. Sorry guys, it was important. Okay. Yeah, interface means we are exchanging certain data from system to system or to postings or master data, whatever it may be. That is called interface. Okay. So to give you a simple example, like IDOC, BAPI. So through these, what is IDOC, what is BAPI, and all, we'll get to know in the next sessions. So simple explanation, which are essential to enable data exchange between SAP and external systems in real-time SAP projects, FIMMSD. So like that, as I discussed yesterday, right? Legacy system, we need to migrate the data from non-SAP to SAP. So that is also interface. We are using legacy system to smoothly will bank third-party apps and legacy system to our whatever our application ECC or S4HANA will uploading the data. That is also kind of a interface. What kind of
Yeah, one
interface
more
means?
simple example which we can give, like vendor sends the invoices, right? So you have the generic mailbox. If AP team will receive the invoices from mailbox to SAP, there will be a one third party application that is called OCR that will capture the
So
data from mailbox and
just a minute.
inflows to SAP.
Can I know your full name, Devi Chandran, because it's new name for me. So who is this Devi Chandran? I'm looking very newly this name. Your full name, Devi? Like I know in my class only one Devi. Ca- Can you tell your good name, please? Guys, are you guys shared any invite link with any other people?
No.
But I can see new person in my group. Devi, like whoever talked just now, can you please tell your good name, please? See, if you're not my student, please do not join my classes. I don't know how did you got the link and all. I'll not entertain others to join my sessions without my, approval. So since we have one Devi in our classes, I approved. I thought that she might be facing some issues. Please exit from my session. I request you to exit from my session. Guys, please do not share the link to anybody else. I request you. Because see, each and every one you paid the money and joining this session, and I will not entertain to join others without my notice. Okay? Somebody else joined today's class without my notice. It's impossible to join my session without link. If I come to know that, I'll return your money and I'll not accept you in my class as well. I don't need such students. There should be some ethics. And even he is not mentioning that who is this guy, because I have each and every one names. I noted down, and at least if you're joining from some other device with the different names, at least just tell that your good name, because I'm not familiar with each and every one to recognize since it is only 1 week. Okay. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to disturb the class. Okay, so the interface means like there can be two kind of interfaces. One is inbound and outbound. So whatever the data we are sending from SAP to other third-party application, we call it as an outbound. Will not accept. Let's talk to her later. Okay, so what is inbound means from SAP third-party application to SAP, whatever the data we are receiving, we call it as an inbound. Whatever the data we are sending from SAP to other third-party application, it can be a outbound. Okay. So example, inbound means like some bank statement. So we will work on this bank statements also in one of the reconciliation sub module. We will learn the bank statements as well. So everything whatever we are talking, we are gonna learn it. But now I wanted to explain high level. All these technical names are coming. You will be not familiar with this statement, payment, and all these things. We'll learn in the coming sessions. Okay. But as part of the complete theoretical part, I'm explaining this. So outbound means like once we post invoices in our SAP, then the payment file has to send for a bank to process the payments. Similarly, if you're working in any company, so they need to make the payments of your salary payments, right? So they will not sit and do the payments like one by one user. So they will send the file. They'll send out a detailed file format, your name, your bank account, IFSC code, and what is the particular month amount has to be credited in your account. That information will share to the bank people for all the employees. They will process it accordingly. So that time we are sending the payment file to the bank means it's an outbound. From SAP, we will execute the payments in SAP. If we execute payments in SAP, the real payment will not happen. The file has to send for a bank. The bank will make the payment. That interfaces and all we will learn in the next sessions. That is what the interface is. So at least you get an idea what is interface in SAP.
Yes.
Yeah. Then conversions. Then conversions means here we need to understand conversions. C stand for conversion. Conversions means we are migrating legacy data into SAP through LSMW BDC BAPI program. We'll understand in next sessions what is LSMW BDC BAPI. So through this transaction code help, we'll migrate the legacy data into the SAP. So if suppose like already we discussed this, I don't take much time on this topic. So yesterday classes we discussed like in the legacy system data, everything we need to move into SAP before the go live. Every data should be available in an SAP. So for that reason, this conversion projects will happen. Conversion project means we will write in a detailed functional spec for that. So what is the object we're conversion doing? So what is the requirement, what data we are doing, what data we are uploading, what is the testing. So all these things functional spec will write. For each and every WRICEF object will write the functional specification document, so that whoever comes the next consultant, if they see that functional specification document, we can easily understand that. So if all of a sudden all 5 members are working, 5 members also will resign, they will recruit 5 new members. Nobody will there to give KT, but this documentation will help for them to understand the process and to work on the existing project. Even if you join any project, they will give you certain documentation. You can read all the existing process, whatever they developed. By reading, you will be able to understand, then correlating all this knowledge. Okay. C stands for conversation, which are essential during SAP implementation and migration. Conversations refer to the process transferring data from legacy system into SAP. So how the conversion works? First, we will extract the data from old systems, either Excel, Oracle, custom ERPs. ERPs means like like SAP. There might be other PeopleSoft, JD Edward, like Tally. These are all other ERPs. So first we will extract the data from the old systems, but as it is, we cannot able to upload into the our SAP. Why we cannot able to upload? Because while posting in an SAP, if any transaction you want to post, each and every transaction formats will be different. If you're posting for vendor invoice, suppose we need to enter all this information, but when we extract the old data, that will be in a different format. But to upload the same transaction into SAP, we need to map all the fields. We need to prepare one template: document date, posting date, document type. So all this in required fields, we need to keep it as a header. Under each field, we need to fill the data, whatever we extracted from the other ERPs. So we need to map SAP technical fields into the extracted data, one template. If that template we upload means, SAP will receive document field date, document type means KR. So then we easily the transactions will be created in a SAP. So first we'll extract the data, we'll transform as per the SAP data structure and validation rule, and then we'll load into the SAP. Okay, then we will be load into the SAP. Then this conversation projects works like this. Okay, so then so in conversation project, like examples like a bank interface, vendor portal, tax engine interface, legacy system data, like the different things will be there for ISIF. So here what I see, everything like functional related will create a functional specs. Okay, and technical spec is document type testing. So who spoken, like she's saying that, who has spoken previously? I didn't able to recognize your voice. Guys, please speak up. Who's given some vendor information? Kind of somebody is interfered in the class and spoke up, right? Who's that?
Me,
Yeah, then Pradeep,
I,
you should
I
mention, right? While I'm asking like who's spoken in the class. See, unwantedly removed her.
no. I was talking about the interface one. What is
Okay,
this? When you giving the example, right? Interface. I give
okay,
one example.
okay. Yeah, it can be, see, it can be anything. So just one example I given there. Okay. Okay, then sorry Devi, there is a misunderstood. Like I didn't recognize Pradeep voice, so I thought that like when he's talking, your name was keep on highlighting, so that's why I misunderstood. Okay, so let's continue. So where we are? Yeah. So because of this functional spec, we will be writing from functional end. The technical spec will be writing the ABAP end. So like that for each and every RICEF object, we'll do that. So let's coming to the enhancements. So in RICEF, one of the object is enhancement. Enhancement means for the existing standard SAP functionality for any process, we do have a function modules. So function modules means for every activity, there will be backend on technical program. For that, like BADI, BAPI, so like this two are the functional modules will have for every process from to complete the things. So whatever the standard SAP functionality is not able to fulfill for the client requirement or process, then we will modify that functional module, but we will not modify the standard programs. With the same functionality, we will develop the custom program through the body program help, and then we will be fulfilling that requirement. We call it as an enhancement. Suppose any new process is there, any process is not fit into the standard SAP. So we will separately create a new process, like how the SAP will do the R&D, right? So if any kind of a process is not available, then the next release they will work out on the process and they will enhance that process and they will release. But until unless they release, but we cannot sit idle and we cannot stop the activity for our client. So that the ABAPers and function consultant will sit together. We'll look for the technical fields, tables, and names, and how we need to enable all this requirement and all. We'll do the enhancements for the specific things. So, which are custom modification made to extend alter standard SAP functionality. We will do the alteration for the standard SAP functionality, but we will not touch the direct standard programs. We'll do the copy and we'll create some custom program through that functionality, and we'll do the modification. So in enhancements can be done using these are all different objects. Will hit user exit for PO creations and custom exits, body, business add-ins, implications, enhancement spots, like a screen exist. To make you simple understanding, screen exist means the enhancement means which I have showed you, right? If suppose there should be a one, another additional field has to be populate here. So additional field, a standard SAP is not providing some other field they wanted to enter manually. There are some coding, some unique text need to be maintained for each and every vendor invoice. That field is not there here. Either we can use, if suppose in document edit text we are not at all using it for any reason, means in one of the existing field we can use, or else every field is using for some other respective usage, then we will add the custom field here. So that time this will be an enhancement, like that. Enhancements will be taken care at the time of implementation. After go live also, in after go live we will identify some of the things we missed, means, or after go live client is realized something is wanted to implement or extend the process functionality. That time also we can do. That is why enhancements, these RICEF objects will come in all the type of projects: implementation, support, rollout. In every project this RICEF objects will be there. Each and every RICEF object will create a detailed functional specification documents. And one last thing, final thing, let us come to the final one. So final one is forms. The forms means, so everybody aware of that, like invoice copies, purchase order histories, your bank statement, customer statement. So whichever will be printed, print media, either soft copy, either hard copy, whatever the print media involved. If suppose we are, as we are Kubota, we are, if anything purchases, others will give an invoice copy, right? And similarly, if we sell the tractor, suppose like in a Reliance, sorry, we are a Reliance, talking about Reliance. So if Reliance anything, they sell to their customers, they'll give the invoice. But what has to be printed on that particular invoice? The Reliance company details, vendor details, what product we sold, what is the quantity, what is the rate, like that. One invoice layout has to be a design, right? So that form has to be like the customization things. The forms has to be built. So this forms will take care all the print media related activity, like sales order printout, or purchase order printout, or invoice printout, or bank statement printout, or customer statement printout. So all these things will be so taken care from the forms. There will be standard forms provided by SAP. If suppose standard forms provided SAP is in a certain format, like SAP standard SAP will provide existing invoice copy. Suppose how the invoice copy looks, like we'll be having invoice here, and like here, like some companies data, here some vendor data, or below we will be having certain layout, like item number and uh, description, or quantity, or amount, and footer we have certain information for payment related data, maybe in footer some information like that. Some standard process will be, standard layout will be there for invoice. If our customer, if our Reliance doesn't like the standard format whatever they given, and you need to modify that, you need to put company address here and vendor address here, or date, if you are updating here, I need to update a date from here to left side I want to update, and footer I want to include my company logo, my bank details, where they can pay the funds, and my company website link, like that, to print the invoice, to define that invoice however you want, whatever you want. You can prepare the invoice copy as per your requirement through these forms, through these forms. So standard forms which are used to generate print ready document from SAP transaction, they are essential for business communication like invoices, purchases, order, delivery notes, payment advice, account statements. There are a lot of print medias are there in the SAP. So if it is a standard layouts are applicable, standard forms are applicable and meeting your requirement, you can proceed with that. If not, then we will customize the forms. That will be work with ABAPer again. So ABAPer is most important for all the activities wherever we need to do the standard SAP to customized SAP things to do. But ABAPer need information, what to do, how to do, from where to do. Do you have any steps? Do you have any logics? Do you have any data to get from any certain tables? That information and all we need to give. They know how to write the logic. They know how to take the they know how to build the solution and everything. Technically there they will be knowing, but to feed that, what to feed, what to come out, what is the requirement, everything we need to explain to them. And certain details from, if suppose I want to print a date here, so if suppose here I want to print the vendor invoice date, but ABAPer will ask where I need to take the vendor invoice date, in which table it will be there. I will explain you what is the table and all in the next sessions. Okay, so like that, every each and information we need to give the information to the ABAPer, so that based on our logics also we need to provide, information also we need to provide. Based on that, ABAPer will build the solution and we can test and we can experience that output, and if it everything good, we'll complete. If not, again we'll rework with the ABAPer. Like that, SAP script in forms we have a different four different kind of things: SAP script, smart form, Adobe form, PDF forms, like this. So SAP scripts will be inbuilt scripts we'll use for payment advice. If you want to use a standard one, we can use a script. If not, even payment advice also we will define our own. In coming sessions, we'll create a DMS structure to get the payment advice. These things and all we'll learn in a future sessions. Smart forms and all, it's just for generic knowledge I'm explaining here. Okay, these are the WRICEF objects. So WRICEF object means this much in-depth knowledge is there. Just have a knowledge on the WRICEF, so that if someone asks you a question, so what is WRICEF, you should be in a state to explain in a one single line of this. The custom objects related will use the WRICEF objects. All the WRICEF, each letter stand for what, you should remember this 5 things, and each activity follows what. At least one line if you able to explain, then they will be move on. Because in this much in deep, if you want to explain for entire recipes, we are taking 1 hour. At least if you want to explain, you will take 20 minutes or 25. But interview will schedule for only 30 minutes, right? Interview will schedule for only 30 minutes. 30 minutes or maximum 1 hour they will take it. They will not go beyond 1 hour. The interview will never be taking more than 1 hour. So how we can make the interviewer feel confidence when he is asked WRICEF, we'll explain one line. When he asks what stand for WRICEF stand for what, we'll explain all these 5 things. And he will ask any one specific thing, what is interface, he will explain immediately. Then he will feel good, like this guy knows WRICEF, and he will move on to the next question. So like that. Okay. So like that, you should be aware of all the details, at least high level. Any questions on this? Any questions on WRICEF? Okay, so let's understand one more topic: types of tickets and ticketing tools in SAP projects. Okay, so I think it's 8:35. So then we can understand the types of ticket in next sessions. Okay. So after understanding this detailed types of tickets and importance, then we'll move on to the configurations. Okay. So these are all basic information that's mandatory to know before we are getting to the SAP application. Clear? If everyone is clear,
Yes.
yeah, I'll stop recording. If you have any questions, I'll take up for 5 minutes.